Yo, what is good, guys? It's your boy VGOK here, and I'm back with another video. And it's not going to be a usual video like before, like the usual market outlooks that you've been seeing, but I've actually got a nice little case study video for you guys today. And as always, I hope you're all doing amazing and are trading safely in the markets. Now, this particular trade that I'm going to be going over, it was from last Friday. So I believe it was Friday the 7th of October, which was the date of the NFP news release for the US dollar unemployment rates. And this particular trade, it was a GBP USD sell scenario. It was a good example of a redistribution style of trade. And I closed off majority of my position at a 1:19 risk to reward ratio. So jumping straight into the screenshots of obviously the before and after of the trade, and right here, as you guys can see, this is the before screenshot of the trade. We have a previous supply zone. I believe it's based off the 30-minute time frame. I'll be going into that in more detail in the actual trading view breakdown. But yeah, for now, that is the previous supply zone. We saw price on its first entry into the zone give a good rejection down, which is always a good sign. We then saw on the second touch and the third touch of the zone, we saw a liquidity capture and then a sharp move in the opposite direction and a break of structure as well. Now that was enough for us to go for our entry. Our main entry is based upon this 3-minute buy to sell candle. There's also a 1-minute candle in there as well, which we could have gone for. But I went for this entry right in here. The stop loss was about a 13 pip stop loss, so slightly larger than we'd usually like to have. But nevertheless, the setup looked good. The technicals matched up with the fundamentals as well, and it was actually the main NFP news release which pushed price, further in our direction, in our bias. So yeah, this was the before screenshot, and as I scan over to the next screenshot, we can see here where we got our entry just before the NFP news release, and then we can see how that NFP news release gave us that incredible move downwards into profit with virtually zero drawdown as well. And here, this is that 1-minute chart. We can see that 1-minute candle in here, that last buy before sell candle, within the supply zone that we based our entry off of, and having that as a 13 pip stop loss as well. Now, in terms of the actual take profit points, we had a couple take profit points, in total 3. So the first take profit point, TP1, where we were able to move the stop loss to break even, so moving the stop loss to entry to give us a risk-free trade. That was at a 1:6 risk to reward. And the next couple take profit points, there was one at some structural lows, and the main final one was at a 1:23 risk to reward. My trade did not hit the final TP of 1:23. I've got a screenshot of where I actually took off about 80 to 90% of the full volume at 1:19, and that's at this position here. So as you guys can see, we had another demand zone with this blue zone at the bottom in here, and that's where I wanted to capitalize on that 1:23 risk to reward. In actual fact, it was around this point here where I took it, and it was around a 1:19. And then we'll go on to see, on TradingView itself, how it went to reverse in this region to take us out for break even for the rest of the remaining volume. So yeah, jumping straight into the TradingView part of the analysis and the breakdown of this GBP USD sell. As you can see, this was the trade that we placed, as you can see, it was from last week. And you can see right here, as I scroll over, this was where I was looking to take the majority of my profits in this about 1:23 region at this potential demand zone. As you can see, price, it didn't quite get down to there. It went down to a maximum of a 1:22 almost, so almost hitting the final TP. But it wasn't until around this point where I looked to close off most of the position at 1:19. So around this point, after seeing this overnight, as it retraces back in, it's a wise sort of decision to take off, majority of the sell if you're starting to get breaks of structure to the upside. And as you can see, it following price going higher and higher, and then eventually breaking even on this day over here. So it was a good decision in hindsight to go for that sort of trade management style. But yeah, looking at the 30-minute time frame and potentially even the 15-minute, we're going to scan back to, and as I move it back into replay mode, over here we can see how we derive these zones. So definitely, let's take it to the 45-minute time frame. You can see the cleared doji candle within here. You've got that drop, base, drop, which takes out this previous area of demand. You can see the demand was in power here because price is getting pushed higher and higher, and you can see that this drop, base, drop is the supply zone that took it out. So on the 45-minute you can see that doji, and on the 30-minute we can see this sort of more full-bodied candle in here. So this drop, these two candles acting as the base, and then the further drop off in price over there. Price eventually comes into our zone, and as we sort of analyze price closely on smaller time frames as it gets into the zone, this is a really good example of a redistribution style of trade. So you can see the price was trying to accumulate within this region over here, didn't really amount to much. As soon as it got to the supply, we saw strong movement downwards, which could have maybe made you go for some sells earlier on in this region here, but then upon the further manipulation over here, this buy to sell manipulation, upon that sort of manipulation, that was a more clearer entry criteria for me personally. We also had a build-up of liquidity in this region over here as well. So as you can see here, a degree of equal highs over here, and then the price went to go and take those out, and as we got closer and closer to that NFP news release, we saw price fall in the desired direction. So looking into that was how we mainly got our trade. First TP at that 1:6 risk to reward ratio, which is where we moved our main stop loss into near our entry. So that first push of NFP, that first candle pretty much, first minute of NFP pretty much gave us that first TP around this demand zone in here. You see this sell to buy with an imbalance existing within here. It was that rough region where we got that 1:6, and then TP2 being at the structural lows over here at 1:7.5, almost 8, and then having the final TP at 1:23, of which I closed most of it off at 1:19, right in there. And as we close off the replay mode and go back to how price went, you can see how nicely it was trending downwards overnight, over that sort of time, over the weekend as well. And then as Monday's price opened for London, we saw just lower prices, showing us the lower mitigations of movement in there. We then saw price slightly come higher throughout Tuesday of this week. So London session showed us some bullish price action, some bullish trend, and then over around London close and then middle of New York session, we saw a very sharp drop in price, which is where we took out most of the profits around this region as it went to go drop off in price again below all of these lows. So around that 1:19 risk to reward ratio. So there we have that full breakdown of that GBP USD redistribution style of trade, which in the end gave me a maximum risk to reward of 1:19. Now obviously, as you guys can see on screen now, this is the actual community page of my sort of mentorship group, and as you can see all my socials are here and stuff. But if you like the trade from today's video, all the trades which I personally take and stuff, I post all the before and after screenshots in here, so it's available for all of my mentees and students to go back and back test the actual trades. There's lots of trades which I've taken as well that are in here, so those are before and after screenshots to go and back test. And also the students themselves actually post a lot of trades as well. So you can see here, took that same GBP USD sell trade here, and as you can see, there's so many examples which they've gone through, that we've all gone through together and sort of been able to capitalize all together as well. So if you are interested in joining the mentorship and actually taking advantage of all of these sort of trades and all these setups, that would be sort of taking on our live trading calls, then please do drop me a message on my Instagram. The link will be in the description below for my Instagram. It's at VGOK. But with that being said, if you guys have definitely enjoyed this video, then please do give it a like, and if you're new around here, please do drop us a subscribe as well. It means a lot. But with that being said, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video for more of that trading source.